Hello, once again, it's me, your host, Frank Ray, here on the podcast that we like to call Behind the Agent. And we're going to look behind an agent right about now. That's right. Welcome. We have Ashley Thornton in the house with us today. Ashley, it's so good to have you here. They're going to cheer again for you. They just love you so much already. They're into you, man. This is going to be super good. I can't wait to talk to you. It's going to be super fun to learn what's going on behind the agent with you. Good stuff here. Let me tee you up, guys, on what Ashley's got going on. Ashley Thornton, home base for her is the Burlingame, Hayward, San Mateo, Alameda County area in Northern California. So nice areas, by the way. Yes. Very nice areas. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah. Okay. Been in the business 8 years, working at Keller Williams. You're on a team. Team, the Zen Coast team. There's the Zen Coast University as well, which we'll probably touch base on. Let's talk about numbers. 2023, 38 deals, 38 transactions. So far year to date, 13. Nice stuff. Very, very good. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. I mean, there's a lot of agents that would love to do 38 deals in a year. And let's keep in mind, what's the national average? 4 now? It used to be 6, yeah. But now everything, is different. It's probably less. It's probably 4, something like that. So to knock out 38 in a year, knock out 13 so far year to date, congratulations, doing really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So Ashley, I gotta ask you, you probably had just quite the normal life, and then something went horribly wrong, and you decided you wanted to get into real estate. What were you thinking?
Great question. Ask myself that every day. No, I did grow up in a family of real estate agents and brokers. So have a little bit of background there. I always said when I'm ready to retire, I'll become a realtor. And I decided to do that in my 30s.
Yes.
After investing out of state, I started buying properties. I'm originally from Indiana, go Hoosiers. So I started buying real estate out there in 2015, and I was working in venture capital. Very busy schedule, but came very repetitive. Not as much as excitement as I was needing in my life. And so decided I would venture out, and in 2017 left and have been in real estate ever since full time.
So since 2017, so you decided you're going to make a move. I got to just ask you this though. Indiana, is that where you're buying the properties? Why Indiana? Is it just good values? Was it like I could pick up some rentals and I could make some money off of them? Is that what it was? Is it just a monetary thing, or do you have some heart-drawn connection?
Yes. So born and raised in Indiana, myself, went to Indiana University, and it was monetary, and a little bit of my heart's always in Indiana. So the first property we bought was built in 2010. Unfortunately, the sellers were going through a divorce. Fortunately for us, that was a win. They were desperate to sell. And so we bought our first move-in ready 4-bedroom, 3-bath, beautiful home for $130,000.
Wow. Yeah.
And then after that, we bought a tenant occupied, ready to go. They were paying rent consistently. Someone was offloading a bunch of their investment properties. We bought the next 3-bedroom, 2-bath in an up and coming area that is now there's TV shows about this neighborhood where people are flipping.
Really?
We bought one for $50,000.
No.
And now we could sell it for over 300 easily.
What a trip.
And yeah, so we just kept doing that. And so now we have 5 investment properties currently in Indiana, in the Indianapolis greater areas. And we also have one in Hayward now.
Okay. So all right, cool. So decided you wanted to get into investing, did a little bit of that. You're doing venture capital stuff, getting bored, right? Yeah. Getting bored. And you decide, I think I'll throw a monkey wrench in my entire life and go into real estate. So I'm curious, did you decide, okay, I'm going to go into real estate, so I'm going to go get my license first and then start looking for a place to work? Or did you already kind of have the place to work in mind and then they helped you get the license, kind of a thing? Which way did it go with you?
Great. So it was someone I met in the investor networking. I was going to a lot of networking events, signed up for kind of like an investor program, a coaching program. I met my now business partner, Jenny, then, and she was leaving Oracle. She got her real estate license. She reached out to me and said, Ashley, I think you'd really be great at this. Would you be interested in like learning how to be a local real estate agent full time? So I ended up joining the team that she was on at Keller Williams. And then during those starting days, I was departing from venture capital. They gave me, because I'd been with them for almost 8 years, they allowed me to, as I was departing, helping find my replacement, they let me do my courses to get my real estate license while I was departing there, and join the team. So I kind of overlapped. So, but I knew what team I wanted to join. I wanted to partner with her, where we've now to this day now this dynamic duo dream team. We've been able to really successfully become one of the top teams within Keller Williams together. So
Nice. Very, very
that's
cool.
how I became guided and coached to become the agent I am today, is that team.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool story. I like it. So, okay. And very cool of the VC company to let you make that transition. So that was nice.
Yes. It's still very close to that venture capital firm. I'm actually going there next week. I love to host home buying seminars.
Sure.
For people on, in the Silicon Valley, to help them realize, I wish I would have bought more when I had a W-2.
Yeah.
And we'll touch a little bit more on some lessons I wish I would have known.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's something I wish I would have done, but I wish I would have bought more while I had a W-2. Yeah.
Yeah. Where you could show income better. Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of writing everything off. Yes, I did lose $150,000. What's the big deal? Yeah, right. Okay, let's move on. So good stuff. So you got in, you're with your partner, you're launching this team, which is extremely successful right now. We'll talk about that. And but when you first get started, I kind of like to start with, how'd you start getting your first deals? And then we'll move to today. So what was it that got the deals going? Like, what was how'd you get your first deal? Is it just, hey, it's mom's friend, or is it, what is it,
Yeah. Door knocking.
Really? So door knocking, and it panned out.
Yes, it did.
Really?
I'd actually, so it was a mix of door knocking, and I would cold calling the neighborhood because our team had a listing in an area that I was trying to make my farm at the time.
Yeah.
And so this particular client that I ended up helping hadn't expired. Like, they had went on market previously the year before. So I was kind of actively door knocking the neighborhood, and we had a listing. And so I cold called, I'd never met the seller, and I invited her to the open house. And she said, why would I ever want to go to an open house in a neighborhood I live in? I don't even want to live in this neighborhood. And I said, oh, well, where would you want to move to? And she said, I really want to move to San Mateo. And we just so happened to have another coming soon. I said, I can meet you at a property that I think will meet your needs today. Would you be interested? And she said, yes. And so we ended up going to see that property. And though she didn't really want that one, she appreciated just me asking those questions and listening to what her needs were, that she ended up meeting me and my business partner. And we ended up signing that listing and then getting them a home in San Mateo, overlapping.
How new are you in the business? Like, you get there, you show up, it's like, okay, start dialing. And was it weeks later? Was it days later that you wound up getting this deal? What was it? Months?
So that one was within probably 4 months.
Okay.
I did have one early on that I was hosting an open house. So my first buyer did come from an open house that I was hosting with one of the senior agents on our team. That they were like coaching me at the open house, like being like, oh, did Ashley mention this? Oh, let's schedule a time. So they helped me. That buyer. But my first solo one by myself, that was about 4 months in, that I would truly say was my first one solo.
You did it. You nailed it. You harvested it. You
Yes.
found it, and you wound up listing and selling that and getting the sale on the San Mateo property as well.
Yes.
So it was a shebang. So I mean, I would imagine you were thinking, I'm onto something here.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So you kind of kept doing that for a bit. Is that kind of how was it open houses, door knocking, cold calling that basically started you priming the pump, as it were?
Yes, I would say from that, early on, I was actively doing open houses every
Mm-hmm.
weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was the agent that all the other agents on the team were like going away for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'll host an open house, I'll do showings.
Yeah.
And so I was that eager agent willing to do anything
Mm.
to really ramp up the business. So I would say for that first year or two, it was helping other agents, hosting every open house.
Okay.
Um, you, anytime our team was hosting an event, I would be there helping out, networking with clients that already knew our team
Mm.
and focusing a lot there. And that would be the majority. And then the referrals from those clients, that's really important to start that. I would say, I don't want to say that I was very lucky because we do an amazing job as a team of making sure our clients um, want to refer us. Like we give them a 10 out of 10 experience. And it just so happened I was someone talking to a client, a buyer that had a very large network. And to this day, he has now probably referred us at least 16 clients.
Wow.
So he is my VIP top referrer.
Oh
He's getting
yeah.
gifts every month.
Yeah.
Um, and he knows that he can reach out to us for anything, any
Mm.
questions,
Mm.
as far as investing. So he's been a great network. And that really helped ramp up my early years was
Nice.
having him as a client.
Yeah.
And then as the years go on, I did change my door knocking farm. And from that, that would be a lot of where my business is to this day.
Okay, so let's talk about to this day. Let's
Yeah.
talk about, so where's it so 38 deals in a year, if you could say, hey, this percentage comes from here, this percentage comes from there. Where's it coming from? Where you get it from?
Yeah. Almost, I'd say 60% of it is from my farm.
From your farm.
From my
Okay.
farm. So
Okay.
door knocking, referrals from my farm specifically.
Okay.
And then probably 20-25% past client referrals, and the rest are leads that come from our team or through my coaching investors.
Okay. Through coaching
So
investors
helping
through the
investors
university.
buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Through the university. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's dissect a little bit. So, I do a lot of these, right? And 60% from the farm, haven't heard that
Right.
yet, like that big of a number from doing that. And then you said, yeah, my door knocking. Do you still door knock?
Yes.
Okay. What else do you tell me how you farm? 60% of it is a big number.
Right.
Everything you do, if you be so kind as to share what you do, what farming a neighborhood means to you. What is it? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I farm in my local area.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a neighbor, which works out great. I focused in on a certain neighborhood that I actually represented a buyer. And then, through referrals in that neighborhood, my farm started to grow. And I said, I'm really going to focus in and hone in on this area.
Mm-hmm.
So they get mailers every month, which is different.
Okay.
Sometimes it's spring cleaning checklist, how to summarize your home.
Mm.
When the market's a little bit slower, I will do the push of like, I'm obviously a real estate agent. I'm here. These are
Yeah.
tips for selling.
Yeah.
So not always focused on real estate.
Right.
Sometimes just being playful and fun. And then when I door knock, it is more specific to inviting them to events. So we've hosted like Easter events, coat drives. Everyone in my neighborhood gets an opportunity to have I deliver fresh baked pies from a local bakery around the Thanksgiving holiday. So that's on my mailer and my door knock flyer. So everyone gets a pie if they just reach out and tell me their favorite flavor. and I deliver that. And so it's really been, not only do I let them know I service this area, I remind them that I have listings in other areas or buyers that we've helped, so that they know that we can help their friends and themselves. So through my farm, I've gotten to sell people who live in that neighborhood their investment properties. I've helped their friends, their coworkers, and then that refer network continues to grow.
I
And
mean,
I see that's all from my farm.
got it. How big is this farm?
You're not going to believe it, but it's only about 200 homes.
What?
I know.
That's
They were all built
awesome.
in,
I mean, that's
I know,
killer.
I know. And so they were built in 2017, 2018, but I have completely saturated that neighborhood. I think last year, of all the listings in the neighborhood, there was only 2 that I was not the agent representing the seller. And then from those open houses, I was able to even bring buyers to, like, that didn't get that house. They maybe got a house that I had coming soon. And so, or I've represented them on that other listing as well. So that farm was built just, so over the years, my partner Jenny, we were on a different team, and she started this new all-female team that we are currently one of the top teams here at Keller Williams. That team started in 2021, and we've consistently been helping over 100 families every year. But through that, we've just been able to grow this network and make a presence as an all-service female team that has a staging arm, a construction team, that we're able to help all of these sellers and buyers.
That's very cool. How many are on that team?
8.
8 of you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
8 total. So
Pretty tight group.
it is.
Yeah. You
It's
guys all
very,
buddies?
we are. We're friends. We take our dogs to the dog park together.
Uh-huh.
I actually just went on a 4-day wilderness retreat in the woods called Camp Abundant with 4 of the ladies to help with just wellness and mindset and coaching to really help us expand our network, but also just kind of reset. And because this can be an exhausting career. I was reading this quote today that every day we wake up unemployed.
Yeah.
Every day we wake up. And so, we service what we hunt. Like, we are out there active every single day. And so it can be stressful. So sometimes you just need to get away and de-stress. So it's
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Unwind, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this
We've
is
gone on, like, we went to Sedona together. We do a lot of types of events together as a team. So yeah.
awesome. That's good. Having that camaraderie and the team is a big plus. I know it is, especially in the generating business too. Everybody working together and getting the business in the door. Very, very cool. Give us some advice. What would you say to a real estate agent who's not doing 38? Is that what it was? 38 in a year? Maybe they're doing 6, 5. What's your advice to them? How do I go from there, Ashley, to 15, 20? What do I do?
Yeah. I specialize in what I say, get out there, meeting people in the wild is how I refer to it. Agent animals, if you will.
Yeah.
That it's important to just be present and letting people know who you are and what you do. I think early on as an agent, well, one, my tip always is don't get into real estate until you have a piggy bank of 6 months of reserves minimum.
True. Yeah, it's good. It's good
Because
advice.
even if you are the luckiest human being on earth and someone's willing to work with you for your first transaction on
Yeah.
even day 1,
Yeah.
and somehow you magically get them their first offer accepted, I mean, we're maybe luckily you get that done in a month. Then you still have escrow. You're not getting that first paycheck for 2, maybe 3 months. And if
Yeah.
you're lucky,
Yeah.
it's a client that has a good budget
Yeah.
that's trusted you. It can be difficult and stressful if you don't set aside and set yourself up for knowing that you're likely not going to get that first paycheck for 6 months. And so I always offer to be very active in your brokerage. So hosting other people's open houses, offer to do twilight tours, offer to do the broker tours to meet other agents. I was so active in that open house activity that is how you're going to meet people out in the wild that are a little more they're out there, they come to you as far as the buyers. And then you have this opportunity to go door knock, to invite the neighbors and potentially use someone else's listing and someone else's marketing to drive traffic to potentially most sellers in the neighborhood. If you're hosting that open house, they think it's yours. They don't know any different.
Sure. Yeah.
So using that as if you're with a brokerage, these are your listings.
Yeah.
Use that as some version of experience. And then I'm very active. Like I love to go to a happy hour or to a bar or a networking event and find something I'm passionate about. I also like to go to the golf range and play pickleball. So that is also where I meet people in the wild. We're actually closing next week, a listing from someone I met at a happy hour in San Mateo. And
so let me
his
ask you
mom
this.
passed away, and he was always just like, oh, I don't own, I'm not going to need any help. And then his mom passed away and he had my business card. So he knew to reach out and that we'd make sure we do a best job for him. So I've actually gotten quite a few contacts from just meeting people, not so much at a grocery store, though I've heard some great stories of people meeting people at a grocery store. Mine are usually at a restaurant or a happy hour sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
Most people that go and sit by themselves at a bar, they want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And so that's how I've met a lot of people, and it's a great way to network. You just have to get out there and let people know what you do.
I like it. You got to let people know what you do. Yeah, that's what you got to do. But
Don't
everything else you said was great advice too. The open houses, being there, being the one that was tour the properties with people if they're not around, whatever the case may be. Excellent, excellent advice. I love it. I love it. I love it. So good stuff. Well, but this has been awesome, Ashley. But we gotta come to the last part, which is, you know what it is. It's the the real side of real estate here. Like I wish I was going to try and name this podcast The Real Side of Real Estate, but somebody's already got it. It's an investment group. Yeah, it's an investment group too. Yeah, they've already got. Oh, suckers! Because that's a good one. I actually didn't even think that up. There's a couple of other agents that I know and I work with up in the Sacramento area. They said we call it The Real Side of Real Estate, and I was like, that's a great name, but it's taken. So anyways, we're here at The Real Side of Real Estate, which is just interesting stories, things that you would never have expected. Great stories, that just what is it? Give us some real life real estate, some kind of a story that you think is worthy of sharing with us on a transaction or something like that. That might be, maybe there's a lesson in it for us. What do you got?
Yeah. I think there's a lesson, but it is what I give credit to my farm for this very reason. So most agents will think an appraisal is a waste of time. Like, why would I go to the appraisal? I'm not concerned about it appraising. As a buyer's agent, I always.
Oh, you mean meeting the appraiser? Meeting the appraiser.
Okay. At the appointment. And I was the buyer's agent. I was representing the buyer. Their loan is based off of this appraisal. I care a lot. It was actually my first transaction once I moved to this new team. So Jenny had started this team and I said, I am hungry. Like, I just made this transition. I definitely want to be active out there for my clients. So I go to the appraisal appointment, and the seller's actually, it's owner occupied, and he's there. And usually, you don't want the sellers to be there for the appraisal appointment. So I meet the appraiser, I let him in, and then I just start chatting up the seller because I'm like, oh, don't distract the appraiser.
Right.
And then we just start chatting, and he starts asking me all these questions about, oh, when am I going to get the appraisal report back? Like, do I need to who do I reach out to? He knows nothing about selling a home. He bought new construction. So, and his agent hasn't answered any questions. His agent was like a relocation agent.
Yeah.
Who hadn't told him anything. And I was like, well, you're actually not going to get it. It's for the buyers, but I'll let you know once it's been completed,
Yeah.
that next steps. And then I just explained the process to him, and he was like, thank you. Like, I haven't been really looped in on any of this, and it's my first time. And then we further start chatting. Turns out him and his wife are from Indiana. I'm from
No.
Indiana. We start talking about the investment properties I have there. Small world, great conversation. Thank him for his time, and I go home. By the time I get home, there's an email in my inbox from him saying he really appreciated just me explaining the process to him. Would it be okay with me if he sent my contact information to one of his neighbors that's thinking about selling? And I said, why would I? Of course, yes, thank you so much.
Why not?
And then he introduces me to that neighbor, and that neighbor replies, and I schedule an appointment. And then the neighbor loops in another neighbor that's thinking about selling. I meet both these neighbors on the same day, sign listing agreements with both of them. I just represented a buyer in the neighborhood. I now have 2 listings. When we signed the second listing agreement, they said, can we introduce you to our neighbor who lives on the next street above? And this is how my farm was built. From me going to an appraisal appointment, it is now the majority of my business has come from those types of clients. So all of my marketing money, there's testimonials every time I have a listing. Every time I represent a buyer, there's going to be a testimonial video. And I continue to grow that farm, all from going to an appraisal appointment.
Wow. That was a good story.
I like it too.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And mind you, these homes are selling for 1.6, 1.7. And this, the initial agent just, she sold it. She didn't care about anything else. And it turned out that seller actually had offered, and he ended up calling her and saying, never mind. But he had said, to his neighbor, oh, do you want my agent's contact information? And they were like, oh yeah, send it over. And she never got back to him.
Wow. Well, that's a lesson learned. There's a couple lessons in that, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Ashley Thornton, man, what a great interview. Thank you for doing this. I know everybody's going to appreciate it. And let me ask you this. So you're running a team, you're in the home office is based in Burlingame. Nice place to have an office. But you're covering San Mateo County, you're covering Alameda County, you're covering Hayward, you're covering a big area there. You said you're looking to add some more people to the team? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the right person? Who are you looking for?
Great question. So we are an all-female team. I wouldn't say that we haven't interviewed men before, but we do have morning yoga together. We do meditation. So we are very much into wellness, because it's important to take care of ourselves.
Sure.
In a very stressful environment. So we're looking for new agents that are looking for coaching. It is great if someone does have maybe an investment property or a transaction under their belt. But we do have agents that have joined our team, and I'm actually one of the senior agents on the team. So I offer mentorship for our new agents as well. So we've had agents that have come with 5 or 10 transactions total under their belt, as well as 0
in a year. Yeah.
In a year. In maybe like it's
in their career.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we are very much, we have that investor mindset, and our team is very passionate about coaching and teaching first-time home buyers, first-time sellers, distressed sellers, about what the process looks like. I would say we have one of the most detailed home buying presentations or conversations that we have to really dive into a home buyer's goals. So we're very much a team that's about that education and helping you grow. So someone who's hungry and wants to really be involved with a team that's out there.
Yeah. And, doesn't mind a little yoga and a little wellness.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, I think it's awesome. I think you got a killer team going on, and you guys are consistently helping like over 100 families a year, which is really really neat. Is what you said. You alone are knocking out, geez, nearly 40. You know what I mean? This year you're already at 13. You're gonna have a great year because I think it's only going to get better for us for those of us that are in it right now, right? Terrific stuff. If they wanted to reach out to you, is it okay to pass them the phone number to get to you?
Yes,
Okay, so,
absolutely. Feel free to have them reach out via phone, text, send me an email or find me on Instagram. I've got a little bit of Indiana in my Instagram handle, so it's Hoosier Bay Area Realtor. So that you can have a little bit of Hoosier hospitality with that Bay Area real estate.
I know other people from Indiana. You guys are interesting people. You are into it, man. Yeah. So, all right.
We
So the
like
number
people.
you're great people, wonderful people. Yeah. All right. So the number is 650-793-5750. That'll be down below. You guys will be able to grab it down there. So you'll be able to see it. So don't worry but if you happen to just be listening for some reason, one more time, 650-793-5750 for Ashley Thornton on the Zen Coast team with Keller Williams in that Hayward, San Mateo, Alameda, Burlingame area, knocking it dead, killing it on the farm. Super, super fun. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thank you
Good.
so
Good
much.
stuff. All
It was
right. Well,
fun.
hey, don't go away. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, but you stick around, okay? I got something for you.
Sounds good.
All right. So, for all of you watching, do us a favor. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe or forward it to some other agents that you might get something out of it. And we would really appreciate that. This is Behind the Agent, the Behind the Agent podcast. I'm Frank Array. It's a pleasure having you here. We'll be here next time. We'll see you later. Bye bye.